Hey group leaders, and welcome back to this video for the month of May in our group leader newsletter. There's been a lot going on here in the past few months. One of the things that I was really excited to go to this past week was a conference from discipleship.org. It's a conference that specifically was focused on cultivating a disciple-making culture. So a little bit of this group leader newsletter is going to include some of those resources that I came out with. I bought 12 books while I was over there, so I'm going to be busy reading for a little while. But there are some really phenomenal resources that specifically talk about what it means to make disciples, both one-on-one and in group contexts. So my tip for you this month is to just think about the way that you're making disciples in the midst of your small groups. Are you really being intentional with the people that you're walking alongside of and being intentional in helping to form and shape them? Think of the questions that you're asking, such as, how is your relationship with Jesus doing this week? Another thing that you could ask is, how is your relationship with others doing? Is there a Christian brother or sister who maybe you need to walk alongside of or restore some things with? Asking questions like this can really help to see where they're at in their faith journey, but also how you can guide and help them in the midst of disciple making. I've got some really good resources that are going to be coming down the pipeline as well. Currently, I'm reading through quite a few of them, but one of which is called Real Life Disciple Making by a couple of different authors, Jim Putman, Brandon Gindin, some folks who have really been revolutionary when it comes to disciple making, whether it's in small groups or if it's in one-on-one settings. So I'm excited to share with you over the summertime how we can continue to develop those and ultimately how we're going to intentionally make disciples. Part of it will be defining what a disciple is here at Christ Wesleyan, how we can continue to form and shape others into Christ's likeness above all else, and then also how we can work through some of the core tenets of what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. One thing that really stuck out to me though at the conference and really challenged me is a disciple of Christ is somebody who goes and makes more disciples. If ultimately we're teaching people in our small groups, we're walking alongside of them, we're sometimes going through the motions with folks, if we aren't making disciples who then go and make other disciples, are we truly doing that then? And that challenged me because throughout the past year, I've been working with my own small group, I've been working with plenty of other group leaders and such, and I've just wondered, how many of us are replicating that disciple-making process? So it really shaped me in the process of this past week, and I hope that that helps to challenge you in the midst of your small groups to say, how am I actively making disciples who go and make more disciples? So I look forward to working together with you over the next year to continue in that realm of things. And a couple of updates for you as well. Summertime is always usually a time when we have trainings, when we have a thank you event. So I want to give you some dates and times of things to look forward to. The first is going to be our Next Steps thank you event at LoveHill Farm. So previously I was known as the Spiritual Formation Department, but now that we've taken on Connections as well, this is going to be a thank you event for all Connections volunteers and their families, as well as small group volunteers and their families. So it's going to be a great time. We're going to have a big potluck with one another. We're going to talk about what is coming up here in the next year, as well as what we're celebrating from the previous year, and ultimately seeing how we can create a culture of invitation between our two departments, a culture that really helps a big church feel small, and to put faces to names, faces to small group leaders, to Connections volunteers, to see the overlap in serving that we have in the different areas here at the church, but to be able to invite people into their next step here at Christ Wesleyan. So that's going to be taking place June 23rd at 1:00 p.m. at LoveHill Farm. Go ahead and make sure to put that in your calendar. We'll be sending out some postcards as well. You can register for this event at churchcenter.com. Some other things that you'll want to keep in mind are our summer trainings. Specifically, there are going to be 2 trainings. Both are the same things. and you can choose either date that works for you during the summertime. The first is going to be July 21st, and the second one is going to be August 18th. Those will be Sunday afternoons, starting at 12:45 p.m. in the youth center. Basically, right after second service is done, we'll all start to convene in the youth center. We'll have some lunch together. We'll see how we can provide childcare to those of you who have young kids and may not be able to get babysitters. So we want to make sure that everybody can make it to this training. This is going to be our once a year mandatory training because this really helps us for anybody who is in the midst of our communities, in the midst of our church, to be able to get some updated details, to be able to connect with you, and to see the other group leaders that are there in the church as well. So once again, both of those trainings, one is July 21st, the second is August 18th in the youth center at 12:45. Remember those dates. Once again, thank you so much for all that you do as group leaders here at Christ Wesleyan. Remember that question: how am I making disciples that then go and make more disciples? If you want to talk more about that, either one-on-one or in the midst of a small group setting, then I'd love to be able to help you through that process. But know, over the next few months, I'm going to be taking what I've learned here in this conference to be able to help equip and train you in the midst of your disciple-making journey. Last but not least, I do have an update for you as group leaders. We're actually going to be bringing on a small groups coordinator. Her name is Allison Ager. If you looked at the Navigating Conversations video series, which is complete, I might add, feel free to check that out on YouTube. But Allison is going to be coming on as my small groups coordinator to help with just shepherding the load of small groups, to shepherd you as small group leaders. One of the things that she's really excited for as well is to have more in-person trainings throughout the year. My timeline as a pastor is pretty limited in what I can do, so I'm excited to see how I can train and equip Allison to then help to train and equip you all over the next year. So look for some updates as well as some communication as to what that's going to mean. But I really appreciate you joining us here for this group leader newsletter this month. Thanks so much for all that you do, and we'll talk to you later.